Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the third day of our game-changing webinar series on SBL. This is your tutor, Hasan Dossani. And I hope that you guys are doing well. And you have now started practicing and solving the question on your own CBE platform. So let us continue with where we left yesterday. So that's a short introduction for me for students who are joining us for the first time today. And those of you who are not part of my global WhatsApp group should send a message on this number to join this group. Okay. How to ask question? You just have a chat box option, but please make sure that your question pertains to the topic under discussion, and any non-relevant question I will be happy to answer towards the end, right? This is the suggested plan, study plan for those who had missed it earlier, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. You're supposed to do these questions, right? And I'm also offering mock-based practice classes. So if you feel that this practice session was helpful, then mock-based practice classes would definitely be a lot more helpful to you. So if you're interested in more details, please send a message to my coordinator on this number. Right, so we are doing SBL specimen paper number 3 called NABI. And we did question number 1, which was assess options from strategic perspective. Then yesterday we talked about diversifying risks. Then we also talked about financing structures. Today is very important. Today we will cover these 3 most important topics, and together they are 38 marks. Tracking project variables, governance structure, and analyze culture. And perhaps tomorrow we will do the last question on weakness of MIS and recommendation and KPIs. Right. So sorry. Yeah, that's better. It's a bit bigger for you guys. So now question number 3. Prepare. No, that's not question number 3. Maybe I made a typo error. It's okay. Prepare a report for John. Who the hell is John? Do you remember John? Who's John? Oh, son. Yeah, I know one of the son, but I think he's the finance and IT director. Maybe, I don't know. We can see finance and IT director. Okay. Prepare a report for John, which, so let's read this bit first. Following a board meeting, which discussed your report on the 2 options. Do you remember you made a report comparing and contrasting the 2 options? The board is in complete agreement that the hotel renovation and running a hotel is the strategic direction they have chosen to pursue. Congratulations. John recognizes that renovating the former bank building and transforming it into a hotel will be a major project, and adequate measures will need to be put in place to track how well the project is doing and to ensure overall objectives are achieved. So do you understand? So they have decided to go with the option of hotel. And if you recall the scenarios which we were reading, before, they will buy a old bank. It's an old building with a bank, and then they will renovate that historic building and will convert it into hotels, right? So that is a big project. They feel that it's a big and an important project of converting the bank building into a hotel building, upgrading it, renovating it, making it look and feel like a hotel, for furnitures, beds, lights, restaurants, kitchens. Yeah. Prepare a report for John, which includes A, are recommendations of the measures which will be important for tracking all major project variables to ensure satisfactory progress towards the achievement of project goals and the successful opening of the hotel. 8 marks. And professional marks are available for demonstrating commercial acumen. Hmm. No voice? Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Sometimes it happens with the internet, I think. No problem. Can anybody explain to me this requirement, recommendations of the measures which will be important for tracking all major project variables? So my first question would be, is it important to track a project? So for example, if the organization is running a project for 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever is the project, is it important to track and control that project? Of course, yes. How will you track a project? Any idea? What things will you look at? If you want to see the progress or control the progress, what things will you look at? Oh, very good. Gantt chart. Okay, what will time or duration? Oh, financials, three legs, quality, time, budget. Impressive. Time, quality, and cost. Very good. I'm impressed. Feasibility of the project? No, Lukman. You will look at the feasibility of the project when the project has already started and in progress. Feasibility is done before the project starts, right? Yes. So now let me go, quickly tell you how we can control the project, how we can track project variables. So there are basically a project. What is a project? A project is a special one-off activity. It is a special one-off activity with a clear objective. It is other than your routine activity. So in this case, can anybody tell me in this case, what is the project about? What is the project about in this case? Converting the bank into, or renovating the bank and converting it into a hotel. So it's actually the physical construction or renovation, not construction, renovation of the building, right? Yeah, so that's the project. Okay, so whenever there's a project, all projects have three legs. How many legs? 3 legs. How would you remember 3 legs? Do you know any animal with 2 legs? Can you name any animal with 2 legs? Zebra has 2 legs, 2 front and 2 back. Okay. Kangaroo. Okay. Humans, birds, penguin. Okay. Now give me examples of any animal with 4 legs. So I've got 2 legs and donkey, lion, cat, tiger, elephant, cow, pussy. What is pussy? What is pussy? Now, give me example of any animal with 3 legs. Very good. Project. Correct. Only there is one animal in the world with 3 legs, and that is project. This is how you will remember. Okay. Okay, so what are the 3 aspects of any project? Number 1 is quality. Okay. Number 2 is the duration or the timeline, because all project has a certain defined duration or end date. Projects cannot go till infinity. So the tracking of the timeline is very important, and obviously the financial, which is the cost side, that all projects will entail a certain initial cost or investment. So if you want to control a project from day one, if you are a CFO, if you are sitting in the board of directors, so do we know that we need to control and monitor the quality or the actual activities of the project. We need to monitor the timelines, whether the project is going as per the agreed timelines, and the costs. Plus, obviously, then there is, if you want to track a project, then you have to make sure that timely resolution of issues, that while you are monitoring or tracking a project, whatever issues or problems or challenges are identified, those need to be addressed. If certain decisions needs to be taken, they have to be taken quickly, so that the project does not get stopped in between. Right? There should be continuity. So these are some basic things, some basic disciplines to control and monitor a project. And why do we need to control or monitor a project? Because if we don't control the project, then the chances of failure will be high. Maybe the cost might go up. Maybe the quality might be not as per expectation. Maybe the timelines will cross. So it's very, very important that from day one, the board, they control or monitor the project based on quality, time, costs, and take decisions and solve problems quickly. Please don't use the Q&A box to ask question. Just use the chat box, okay? Now, coming to this scenario, NEBI. What is the project about? Blah, 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 blah. I think it was somewhere in the requirement. It was mentioned here. Agreement that hotel renovation, renovating the former bank building and transforming it to the hotel will be a major project. Yeah. So this is the project. Now, what do I mean by quality? Can you explain to me that in this particular scenario, it's a renovation of the building. So what aspects will be covered in quality? Meeting the expectations. No. The design, yeah, exactly. First the design, and then the material used, and there will be an architect involved, some interior designing, the build quality, all those things, right? Look and feel, paints, it should look grand. So quality aspect, have you ever gone into a five-star hotel? It is grand. I mean, it's wow. So those aspects, the actual designing, the construction, the renovation, the material, the furniture, the lighting, the paint, the look and feel, the designing, all those are quality aspects. Now, how can we track this? So while the work is going on, while the project is progressing, how can we track quality? Regular visits, or we have a make a project initiation document. No, Yunus, conceptual error. A project initiation document is always made before the project starts. Benchmark, very good. Visits. So first of all, we need to set some milestones. What do you think? We need to set milestones. Okay, first month, this will be the target. Second month, this will be the target. Third month, this will be the progress. So you break the entire project into monthly targets or smaller regular targets, and then you can track the progress. The project manager or the project engineer can come and make you a presentation to the board that this was the target for this month. We were supposed to buy all the furnitures, and this is the actual status. Okay, and then we can look at pictures, we can go and do site visits. Okay. For time, how can you track timelines? Again, very similar approach, that all activities will be attached a time, and you will see the budgeted time versus the actual time. Oh, please don't bring IFRS 15, Ali. So time, how can you track time? It's very simple. Budgeted time versus actual time. And what about cost? Budgeted costs versus actual cost. That's the whole thing, right? This is how you track a progress of anything, that this is the target or this is the budget and this is the actual. This is what you are supposed to spend in the first month, and this is what you spend. We break down the project into smaller expense heads: furnitures, lighting, paint, designing, painting, and then we have a budget for each of them and look at variances. This is the only way to track anything, is to set milestones and targets and budgets for everything, and then track. The project manager will report to you the actual progress against those targets. Yes, Anas. And then, of course, when you face any problems, so do you understand the topic? Now let's start solving it. So, but there was some, what are the professional marks for? Commercial acumen. So nothing doing. We just stick to the exhibits. We talk about financials, we talk first about non-financials and then financials in the end. That's it. But that some guy talked about IFRS 15. You will lose mark on commercial acumen because you're thinking from an accountant's mentality, right? Okay. So let's go to the case. What's the format required? Write a report. Okay, guys, please prepare a report right now. I will prepare my report format and you will prepare your report format. Okay. Time starts now. Okay, so report. Any problem? Did I made any mistake? Tell me my mistake. Now you are the marker, examiner. What's John? What do you mean by John? So my two, okay, my two is wrong, eh? Very good. Okay, let me write. Is that okay? Don't say John. Say John Nebby. Okay. John Nebby, director. Or just John Nebby. Nebby is okay. It's but full name. John is very casual, right? He's not your boyfriend. Okay. I need LM. You need to mention the name instead of the no. Nikita, when you know the name, you have to mention the name. It has to be a personalized report. Management consultant is okay. Maria, I think today is your first class. That is why you're asking these questions. Subject. So now can anybody tell me a subject? Subject. Project variables. Good one. But then, please, Uzair, what are you doing? Why you are creating subject on your own? I told you yesterday that your subject should come from the requirement. What do you mean by construction of hotel? These small things will, cause problem for you. I don't know why you keep on doing this. But then I want to show you one thing. It says prepare a report for John which A blah 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 blah. And then there is question number 3B. You see the examiner, how smart that guy is. It's 3B says the report should also include the following B and C. So now this report is supposed to cover 3 requirements. The first one is project variable. Okay. Now what? Quickly read and tell me. I got it. Governance changes, project variables, comma, governance changes, comma. What was the last one? Culture. Very good, Saki. And culture. Done. Now, John Naby, introduction. This report. Now we'll have to just copy paste stuff from the requirements. Recommendation. Control C. Word processor. This report recommends the measures which will be important for tracking all major project variables. This report also, and then I'll copy paste something from here. Implications of the governor changes needed. You see, no need for lengthy stories. Also discusses or explains, right? Explain is the word. Explains the implications of the governor changes needed and an analysis of the current culture of NEBI and an assessment of how the culture will change. Got it, guys? Simple. I just picked up the key sentences from each requirements and I put it there. Any problem? Yes, no? Nisha is saying, sir, in case we don't see the next requirement or pay attention, we will lose time by redoing the report. Not really, because it is a Word document. You can just need to go back and add couple of things. You will add this thing, copy paste. You will add something to the introduction and continue with the report. In a manual paper, yes, you will have to redo the report. But in a Word document, you can just insert and edit, right? Anyways, that's not a big deal. Now, how many marks is this question? 8 plus 2, 10. How many points or paragraph I need to mention for 10 marks? Very good, Ali. 5. Who's this? 4. I think Akis is today his first class. I don't know why he says 4. 5 to 6 again, Akis. No, Shazib. Why 6? Please watch the previous webinar so that you stand corrected. 8 plus 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5 points. Now, should we start by saying, oh, now we'll say requirement. Okay, because the examiner should be able to see that all the requirements are separately identified for it. So now we are starting question number 3A properly. So what is this project about? So it's better to start and define this project, and then we can talk about the project variables. So what is this project about? As NABI decided to, where is the thing here? 3. As the board is completed agreement. Where did it go? Okay, as NABIs, as the board has decided to pursue the strategy of diversification and going into hotel business, they will, can I copy from here? They will renovate the former bank building and transform it into a hotel. They will need to renovate the former bank building and transform it into a hotel. This would be a major project, right? That's one point done, that I started with. What is the project about? Following are the recommendations. Following measures can be used to track the project. What should be my next heading? Following measures can be used. What should be my next heading? Project quality. Yes, very good. So my next heading would be, or you can still use this major project. And here you can say all projects have 3 important aspects, which are quality, timeline, and costs. Following measures can be used to track the project to make sure that it completes successfully. You like the start? I've defined what the project is about. Now, first variable is project quality. So we will need to link with the case. I mean, so here first we will define that what do we mean by quality, like we verbally discussed, right? So we will say that, in this case, the project quality would involve the build quality, the look and feel, what kind of material is used, all those things. Just a minute. Go. So project quality in this case, project quality will include the actual renovation quality of the bank building. It includes various aspects such as the designing, quality of materials, look and feel, etc. So this hotel should be high quality or low quality? What do you think? What is their brand? What is their philosophy? Do they want to focus on high quality or low quality? Yeah, they've been very high quality focused. It is important. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Sorry. Sorry, guys, extremely sorry. It is important that quality aspects should be, it was important that the renovation is of highest quality. Okay, now how will you track it? And I have one line on how to track it. High and lavish quality, good, Varda. You will just say that the you see how small paragraphs I'm giving. The renovation activity should be broken down into what? Into smaller activities, and then the actual outcome should be monitored. Board can inspect the site, and the project manager can update the board regularly regarding the renovation activities. Khalas. Enough? Now, can we draft something on project timeline? So, but here, in order to know the timeline, do we know the project timeline? Oh, really, Adrian? Ali, very good. How do you know what is the project timeline? 9 months. Wow. From where did you get this? Very smart. In the financial exhibit, the appraisal, the NPV calculation, I think it was this one. Remember? There was a section on project duration, 3 months and 9 months. Very smart. You know, the examiner, I think I've mentioned this before, that the examiner, he loves when students, they try to link information from multiple exhibits. You just write here the project timeline in this case is 9 months. It is important that the project should meet its deadline and be ready for operations. How can you track the timeline? All activities should be assigned, you see, a timeline, and then actual time taken should be tracked and all unfavorable variances needs to be explained by the project manager. Okay, that's how you track time. What about the third one, project cost? Do you know the cost? What is the renovation cost? I think again it's in the, is it 21 million? Okay, it's the renovation cost. Very good. The project or the renovation cost is $21 million. I think it's in the financial exhibit, right? It is very important that the project completes within the approved budget, within the approved cost budget. Else it will adversely impact the NPV projections. Correct? How can you track costs? All activities should have a budgeted cost, and then actual cost incurred should be matched at regular intervals based on work completed percentage, and variances should be investigated and resolved to make sure that project does not overrun in the end. And finally, regular progress. What about the regular problem solving? All projects face issues during the execution phase. Correct? It is important that the board should address any issues on a timely basis so that the project finishes within the agreed quality, time and cost budgets. Khalas. So was it technical? Was it very bookish knowledge required, or was it common sense? Very basic things, right? That project. So even if someone doesn't know a lot about project management chapter, if he just knows the three legs, that all project, they have three aspects: the quality, the timeline, and the cost. So if we want to track any project, we will just focus on these three variables. As a board, I will make sure that there is no overrun on the cost, on the timeline, there is no quality issues. Easy 10 marks. But most students, they were not able to pick up the topic because the requirement was drafted in such a manner that, a lot of students, they panicked. So just remember, tracking project variables. So Maria is saying we don't have to link the three legs to the exhibit. Maria, which leg is not linked? Can you tell me? Yes, Alvin, you can use the word project slippage. That's a nice word to score commercial acumen. Yes, definitely. I mean, this will also help, help you score. But I want to listen to Maria. Maria feels that we have not linked with the exhibit. So it's not. For timeline, I mentioned that the project timeline is 9 months. Now this portion is linked. Now after linking, you can be a bit general because there is not a lot of information, right? So only one sentence is okay. So in project cost, so those students who were able to do this, they told me that they were not able to find any information and hence they were not able to link with the scenario. But there is not much of the linking required. For example, when you talk about project cost, as long as you mention the total cost, it is 100% linked. That's all. When we talk about project timelines, as long as you mention 9 months, which is given in some other exhibit, it is linked. Khalas. You don't have to link from A to Z. One or two sentences is also enough to demonstrate your linking capability. Got it? Now it all depends on the availability of information. When there is more information, you can link more. When there is less information, even a one-liner linking will be enough. Good point. Thank you, Maria. Because of you, others are also clear now. One-line linking is also enough if there is not a lot of information provided. But if you don't mention even these 9 months and 21 million, and even I mentioned somewhere here about building renovation, designing, material, furniture. If you don't mention these, then you will not score mark because then you are completely writing a general answer. Okay. Yes, you're right. Main issue is the understanding of the requirements. So you just remember the keywords, whenever you see the word tracking all major project variables. I didn't see commercial acumen used. You will never see commercial acumen. You will only see accounting acumen if someone uses accounting acumen. If you stick to the exhibit, all this, you think all this is commercial acumen. I mean, this is all commercial acumen. You think an accountant will be able to talk about quality and timelines? No. So there is nothing to see in a commercial acumen. Just stick with the exhibit, just use common business sense and you are done. If I would have written this only, like project cost is the only thing, if I would have talked about project cost only, then it is, I'm an accountant, because I'm telling the examiner that in the entire world only project cost is the variable. So that's an accountant mentality. But no, I deliberately kept in the last project cost. Remember how you score commercial acumen? You talk about non-financials first and financials in the last. Very good. Okay, done. Any question, guys? In this question, I feel that the requirement was a bit difficult to understand and very less information was there. So this was our learning. Okay, move on. 3B, very interesting question. The report, let's read this one. John also recognizes that as a result of choosing the hotel project and the size of the investment required, NEBI will need to secure equity funding from a venture capitalist. To secure the investment, the expectations of the venture capitalist will need to be taken into consideration, which will require changes to the governance and culture of the business. Very interesting. So now John is telling us that, guys, we would need a venture capitalist. What is the meaning of venture capitalist? So this means that now a new shareholder, institutional shareholder, will be joining us. So we will no longer be a family owned business, because there are some external financiers or investors who are shareholding or co-owners of the company, right? And now he feels that if there are external investors, it will affect the governance, the current governance structure, and maybe the current culture of the company. The report should also include the following: an explanation of the implication both for the board of NEBI and for how the business is managed of the governance changes needed. Should a venture capitalist provide the equity funding? Again, I feel that the requirement is slightly complicated, but for me to simplify it, I would just look at the governance changes needed. It should be enough to tell me which chapter or which topic. So governance changes, that's a whole topic in itself. So let me, and what's the marks, professional marks is, commercial acumen. So nothing needs to be done. Non-financials first, financials in the last. So let me go to corporate governance thing. Okay. So you will need to memorize this, corporate governance thing. So what I'm trying to explain here, just a minute, my pen is not working. Yeah. The main differences between family owned versus a listed company. So basically there are two broad kind of companies. One is a private limited or a family owned organization, and one is a proper listed company, or where it is not a non-family owned, like there are external shareholders. There are two such types of companies. So the governance structure is different between the two. So a family owned business can be run in any manner the family would like to run the business, correct? So if I have a business, I am the owner, I am the CEO, I am running the business, I can do whatever I like. What goes off your father? But if it's not a family owned business, if there are other investors or shareholders, then the governance style needs to be different in order to protect the interest of non-family members, like other investors, right? So what are those things which you will see in a listed company, but not in a family owned business? For example, the first one, role of chairman and CEO are split. So in a family business, the chairman and the CEO can be the same person or the same individual. Nobody gives a shit, because it is their own family business. But in a business where they are external shareholders, then the role of chairman and CEO should be split between two persons. Then sufficient number of NEDs. So if if it's a family business, Nobody is interested in non-executive directors. But if it is a listed company or it has got external shareholders, then those shareholders would prefer that there are sufficient number of NEDs on the board. Then you would expect to see board committees, and then the board is accountable to those shareholders, right? That's the whole agency principle thing, that the board is responsible and accountable to the shareholders. So in a family owned business, the shareholder and the board are the same people. But when there are external shareholders or in a listed company, that the board is then accountable or answerable to the shareholders. And then decisions are based on voting rights in a listed company. Whereas in a family owned business, you know how a decision is made in a family owned business? Any idea? Do you think they follow voting rights? No, it's if, for example, in NEBI, the dad is the CEO and there are 3 sons. So whatever dad feels, the sons will not oppose it, right? So it is more about, in a family owned business, the decision can be taken by the senior most person in the family and others will just keep quiet. But in a listed company, it doesn't work like that. It has to be based on voting rights and or shareholders pattern. And then the directors' remunerations are based on performance in a listed company. Higher focus on risk management and internal audit, whistleblowing arrangements. So what are these things? These are those additional things or controls which you would see in a listed company, but not necessarily in a family-owned business. Okay, now understand the requirement. Right now, NEBI is a family-owned business, correct? And now they are saying that now a venture capitalist is providing capital. So there will be a new shareholder. So it is, I guess it will not remain a family-owned business anymore. There will be an external shareholder. You are now a partner or a co-owner. So now if there's an external shareholder, then all these things which were not there, do you expect them, to see these things? Yes, if there is an external shareholder, he would demand non-executive directors. He would demand that there is proper board committee. He would participate in decision making. He will not take bullshit from the dad. He's your dad, not my dad, right? So these are the things which may change. So whenever you get a question on corporate governance changes, what's the topic? Corporate governance changes. So these are few aspects of corporate governance which will change if you move from a family-owned business to a non-family-owned business. Knowledge is there, you understood? Now, guys, where was this question? How many marks is there? How many marks? 10 plus 3, 13 marks. 13 divided by 2 is 6 to 7 points. 6 to 7, right? Okay. Yes, Chia, good. So now I think you should be drafting and playing with this. I will give you time. This is question 3B. What will be the opening sentence? I can just um, pick up from the requirements. I will copy and I will paste here. Okay, guys, now over to you. The first heading is from the list. What about this one? I want to, no, I want you to start with this point first because now there's an external shareholder to start with. Can you draft now? You will first say what is the current situation. And then you will say in the next paragraph that if a venture capitalist come, he's an external shareholder. So what is the current situation? I remember in the overview, it's a family business and it gives you the board structure, the 3 sons. We all know this information. So are you ready to draft yourself? Do you want to try drafting or you want me to do it? Yes, you guys try. First, make this first point external shareholder. Explain the current environment and then explain what do you mean by external shareholder and how it will, what will be the implication. Simple. Please try yourself. So today I want you guys to try drafting and then I will give you 5 minutes and then I will draft. Time starts now. Five minutes, huh? Not more than that. Okay, I've done, plain and simple. You can compare, and if you have written something better than this, then all that's very good. I just try to write very basic stuff so that everybody can connect to it. Next point. Next point, I want you to talk about sufficient. Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry, guys. Oh, we need to um, read certain exhibits as well. We haven't completed our exhibits, right? Oh, we missed one exhibit. Yes. Yes. That is why I was thinking that, why we are not getting information. So now this one, this exhibit 7 is a very interesting exhibit. What is it? It is a transcript of TV interview. Okay. So now it's an actual interview with a venture capitalist firm. And we will now find out what the venture capitalist is thinking or expecting when they invest fund in any company. So please read the first 3 paragraphs. Time starts now. I'm done with the 3 paragraphs. You can take your time. 30 more seconds. Very good, Aisha. Let's wait for others. Okay, done. Let's move to the next 3 paragraphs. So next 3 okay. Okay, what's left now? Please read this one. Once you are done, please type done. Okay. Okay. I think 20 more seconds so that everybody can catch up. Okay. Do you think there is a lot of important, interesting information about venture capitalists in this exhibit? So I think governance changes, cultural changes, all these things we can pick up, right? So let's go to the start. What about this? We usually look to retain our investments between 3 and 7 years duration, right? So they are not lifetime investors. They just invest for a period of between 3 years to 7 years. Whereas as a family owned business, what happens? They always take a long term perspective, right? Yeah, I think we read somewhere that as a family owned business, they always take a long term strategic perspective. Whereas a venture capitalist, yes, he is also long term, but not more than 7 years, 3 years to 7 years, depending on the growth prospects of the business. Ah, Lukman, you are saying VC is interested in short-term profit. I think short-term is not the right word, but can I say medium-term profit? 3 years to 7 years is seen as medium-term, right? And long-term is like 10 years, 15 years, lifetime. So can we, I'll just copy this point. Where is it? Where is my word processor? Here, I will copy it here. One point. Okay, now resolution of any risk issues to the return of investment. Oh, this one. No, God, what did I did? Is there any undo option? Let me quickly close it and see. I by mistake selected Control Z. Does it work? No, I don't think Control Z works. It was exhibit 7. Oh God, it was auto saved. Oh, okay, no problem. So now can we copy this? They say we expect a robust risk management and controls. A robust risk management and control is something which external investor or listed company normally focuses on, but not family owned business. So I'm just dumping all the points, and then what about this point? This is a very interesting point. This one. It says, as an example, with a new hotel, we would expect forecast occupancy rates to be cautious and not exceed 50% occupancy in the first 2 years. Now, where I can use this point, try to link multiple exhibits now. Very good, Lee. You remember the financials in which we had made some projections? What was the occupancy level we took there? 65. No, first 2 years. They are talking about, as an example, they say that with the new hotel, we would expect forecast occupancy rates to be cautious and not exceed 50% in the first 2 years. So I would, you know what I will do? I will go back, go back, and I will include this point in my financial assessment to get 1 extra mark because I am cross-linking couple of exhibits here. Occupancy, I remember here. Yeah. I would just say further, the venture capitalist expects that the occupancy rate should not exceed 50% in the first 2 years. This needs to be factored in these projections. This is the beauty of CBE, that even if you read something else in 1-into-1 exhibit or later on, you can always come back, insert and edit. Maybe I would give it as a separate paragraph, to attract attention. Now the examiner knows that I'm trying to cross-link. That's the role of a CFO. A CFO always cross-verifies information from all sources. Nice. Well done. Okay, what about this? This would include not leaking cash in unnecessary expenditure like expensive company cars and flamboyant offices. What's happening in this company? The dad is, I know the dad is driving some expensive car, right? Remember the first exhibit, his expensive car. Very good. What else? So I think that will change. Huh? Oh, it is normal for a VC to place a NED on the board. Let's put it here. NED on the board. Okay. Many of our clients strongly support or forget about it. Now this point, I deliberately shaded in another color because I feel that this is another requirement. It says certain core key performance indicators. I have seen this word somewhere before in the requirements. KPIs. Is there a requirement on KPIs? 4B? Excellent. There is some information about KPIs. So I will copy and I will go to 4B. Did you say 4B? And I will paste it here. And then the last thing, I also saw this one. Typically, investors can expect annualized return of 20% or more on their investment. Where can I use this? Investors expect a 20% return. Yes, Louisa. Type in the chat box. 2B, I don't understand 2B. Where? Where can I? Discount factor, Laura. Excellent. Very impressive. Laura says discount factor. NPV, yes, financial projections. So what is the discount factors we took? So the discount factor is 10%. But the investors, venture capitalists, they will expect a minimum 20% return. So I think we will have to change our discount rate to 20% and then see whether the project has a positive NPV or not. Because if at 20%, if the project has a negative NPV, the venture capitalist will not be interested because they expect a minimum return of 20%. So then what do I do now? Do you want a cross-linking? You like cross-linking exhibits? I will go to my, I will add one more point. Very good. More the merrier. Although we already have a lot of points there, but because it is cross-linking, I don't like to ignore it because definitely it will help me get some marks. Where is it, Baba? Financials, yeah. Lukman is asking, is it okay if we use short form like VC? Yes, I think you can define VC somewhere for the first time and then you can use VC. Yes, Varda, you're absolutely right. You can take that point. So now going to 3B. Now we have all the material and data. External shareholders. Now I want you to draft NEDs. Was there any point on NED? Yeah. So if there is NEDs on the board, what will happen? So right now we are saying that it is normal for a VC to place NEDs on the board uh, to represent their interest. At the moment, there is no NED on NEBI's board. So if there are NEDs added, how will it affect the life? Yes, very good. They will challenge the decisions. They will scrutinize the performance. They will ask questions, right? You will no longer have that freedom. NEDs, halas. Now, can we draft anything about this point? We need to usually look for investment of 3 to 7 years. That's it. What about robust risk management? I will just say what about this? Are you seeing what I'm doing? I first copy pasted and then I just gave it a heading, linked with the case and one liner of what's the, why it is good or bad. Very good, very good. So now you can draft this. I'm not uh, Okay. And let's me look at more points. Have we covered everything? Uh, Role, forget about it. NEDs we talked. Board committees we have not covered. We can put a point on board committees. This we covered. Voting rights, we can put a point that we can say that uh, got it, got it, got it. So do you understand how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Good. Can we include a split point? Yes, you can, Alvin. You will say that currently the role of chairman and CEO is with the same person. It is possible that once a VC joins, he may insist on a non-executive chairman. You can add it somewhere. Okay, guys, so you understand it was, again, if you read the requirement, recommend with justifications of the measures. No, where's the requirement? 3, somewhere down, I think. 3B. Explanation of the implications, blah, 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 of how. Have we talked about implications? Explanation of the implication of the changes. So did you notice that first I mentioned that this will change, like NEDs will come, but then what will happen? What will be the implication? So I added one more sentence that we will lose freedom. So it's very important to talk about impacts in order to justify your points. Is this question number 3B very clear? The topic is clear, the linking is clear, the drafting is clear. Will you be able to draft a nice answer now? Excellent. So let's take a break. And then we will do the last question, which is culture. Culture is a little bit complicated topic. So I want you to come with a fresh mind. Is that okay? Are you guys tired? No? Okay, today I feel tired. I don't know why. Anyways. All right, so question number 3C, it says, an analysis of the current culture of NEBI. An analysis of the current culture of NEBI and an assessment of how the culture may need to change to align with the aims of the venture capitalist and external shareholders. 12 marks and professional marks are available for demonstrating analysis skills in considering the implications of the changes needed in relation to the future culture of the business. 3 marks, and total is 15 marks. So I think it is a very heavy duty question. How many points? Points or paras? Not bad. For each point, like for power culture, how many paragraphs you require for power culture? For each point, like each heading, how many points? 2, right? One will talk about the current culture and the next one will talk about the changes, how the culture may change. So for each point, there are 2 points. So for power culture, there will be 2 paragraphs. So that will be considered as 2 points, 2, 4, 6. I think 8 points is doable, not a big deal. The main thing is the topic, the knowledge content. Analyze culture, the current culture. How can you analyze a culture? There is a very famous model called cultural web model. Okay. And this is the model which is generally used to analyze the culture of any organization. So the model has a diagram which looks like this, but you don't have to draw the diagram in your answer for 2 reasons. The first reason is, just imagine that if you're sending something to the board, will the board be interested in the diagram or will they be more interested in the assessment? Number one. And the second important reason is, in a CBE platform, it will be difficult to draw something like this. Okay, in a manual paper, yes, I can draw with my free hand, but in a CBE, so forget about the diagram. Okay, forget about the diagram. What's more important are the headings like power structure, organizational structure, control systems, ritual routines, symbols, and stories. So these are the 6 points which this model touches upon. Okay. So always we start with power structure. What is the meaning of power structure? We study the leader of the organization. Like what is the style, the personality, the habits of the leader. Now for a company, the leader may be the CEO in most cases. So what is the CEO like? What is his style, his passions, his belief, his habits? Can anybody tell me why do we need to study the leader? Why not the accountant? In order to understand the culture of any organization, why do we need to study the leader of the organization? Let's look at the CFO. Yes, Lee, you are very intelligent. Lee, where are you from? Singapore? Malaysia, very good. So the leader of any organization, basically he has a very important role in shaping out the culture of the organization, right? So tone at the top, nice word, Anam, tone at the top. That will then trickle down across the board. So power structure may we study the leader of the organization. So in this case, do we know who is the leader of the organization? Graham. Do we know his style and personality? Hmm. Where do you know this strong personality, dominating? Where is it mentioned? Which exhibit? Was it one overview? Yeah, the original founder. You see, let's revise. The original founder, Graham Nabi, is also the chief executive of the business. Graham has a strong personality, and his views have tended to dominate the direction of the business. Whoa. And then do you think this is the current, like he is the strong personality dominating, he dominates the decisions, the future directions. But now, once a venture capitalist comes in, will this change? Will his style, behavior will change? Can he continue to be dominating? No. Then what will happen? How the culture will change? So exactly. So there might be a chairman, there will be NEDs who will not be his son, they will not listen to his bullshits, or they will not keep quiet in respect because he is their father. No. Good. So now please draft power structure for me. Your time starts now. Go to the Word document here. Question number here. What is the open draft and opening sentence? Uh, I will just copy from here, Control C, Control V. Following is the analysis of the current culture of NABI and an assessment of how the culture may need to change to align with the external shareholders. Okay. And then what's the first heading you will give is power structure, bold underline. Please draft now the power structure. I give you 2 minutes. You draft on your own and I draft on my own. Done. I am done. You can take 1 more minute. Done. And once you're done, please type done. Very good, Ali. Okay, now next one. Organizational structure. In this, what do we look at? We look at the structure of the boards, like how many executive directors, how many non-executive directors, the structure of the overall organization, whether it's tall and flat. So in this case, have we been given an organizational chart of the board or the organization? Yes, I think in exhibit 1, the current reporting structure and ownership. So basically the board structure, and this is given. So what can you write here? How many EDs, how many non-executives, committees, all those things. Can you cover here? So at the moment, what's happening? There are, as per the, at the moment, there are just 4 executive directors. There are no. So let's draft. Let's take 3-4 minutes. I want you to now start drafting and typing. It's easy for me to speak, but now you need to draft. I'll give you time. Time start now. I'm done. Short and sweet. Flat structure, okay. Will that change? EDs have dual role. What do you mean by dual role? Finance and IT. No. I mean, if it's a small organization, a restaurant, so one person can have finance and IT. What's wrong in that? That has nothing to do with venture capitalists, right? It is. You think the venture capitalists will break it up? I don't know. It's as assumption. All right. Easy. So far, it's easy culture. Okay. Is it good to mention the names of ED? Elvin Baba, who is this report going to? Elvin, who is this report addressed to? Shabash, Elvin, speak up. Do you know this report is addressed to John? And you want to mention the name of the 4 directors to John? Don't you think he knows this? This is where you will lose communication marks, because for communication, you have to keep your mind your role and the addressee. Okay, you are thinking like you are writing to the examiner. No, Baba. Forget the examiner. Think like a consultant writing to the board. So board knows the individual names, right? Okay. Please, Anas. This is where you lose marks and you will not realize that where you lost mark. Okay, now what else? Control systems. Control system, we have to see whether the organization is cost focused or quality focused, and performance management and reward systems. So first of all, now there are several aspects with regards to NABI. First, tell me, is NABI's business model based on cost or quality and differentiation? Yes, award, prestigious award. They are very famous, a strong brand, high end, all those things, right? You think that needs to be changed? You think the venture capitalists will change all that? No, because that is the reason for their success, right? That is actually their strength. So venture capital will not mess with your strengths, right? He wants to, in fact, make it more growth. So I think the quality aspects at the restaurant levels will not change. But then there are certain extra leakages. Do you remember? There are some leakages like unnecessary costs. Someone is driving extra expensive cars. That might change, because that is where the VC might want to cap some unnecessary luxury costs. Okay. Yes, the VC did mention that in the interview. Very good. Yes, the VC will try to control unnecessary overheads. Every business tries to control unnecessary overheads, but restaurant level, this is their strength. So no cost cutting at restaurant level, but overheads nobody likes. So overheads will, I like the word overheads. So CEO's car is overheads. You understand overhead cost, right? Okay. Now there was something mentioned about fixed reward or fixed remuneration. Do you remember? I had read somewhere. Where? Let me search. Search. Remuneration. No word in this exhibit. Okay, I close this. Second exhibit. Search. Remuneration, no. Reward. Nothing there. Third exhibit. Search. Revenue. No, fixed. Where is it? I have read somewhere that their revenue transcript of Nebi is definitely here. Exhibit 7. No. Okay, let me check. Exhibit 7. What happened? Oh, I pressed this. Crazy, wow. Oh God. What happened? Exhibit 3 mentions, but wow, how do I fix this stupid thing? You see, these things can happen. Exhibit 3. Yeah, reward, there is something here. Reward, this one. I can't find it, guys, but I swear I remember reading somewhere that at the moment their rewards are fixed. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's on the transcript of the interview. Okay, let me check the transcript. I remember it was in the transcript somewhere, but where? Maybe you should go to build. Exhibit 7, para 4. Okay, I will just check. Give me 1 minute. Exhibit 7, para 4, but I don't have exhibit 7. You see my exhibit 7, how it looks? Para 4. Excessive salaries not linked. Next to the print. This one. Ah, thank you so much. Thank you, Ali. You are a lifesaver. What happened to the dog? This is crazy, CB. These are some problems you will face. Let me just fix the view correctly. Okay, so let's draft control systems. Talk about the quality, the quality focused, excessive cash by leakages, example, cars, performance linked with this thing. Yeah, Kemi, I think you're right. I had a long day in office. All right, so let's draft control systems. Time starts now. Okay, I'm done. What about you guys? To control systems, NEBI has adopted a quality focused slash differentiation approach in its business. Its restaurants are quite famous for high quality and it has earned prestigious awards. It is unlikely that venture capitalists will change this strategy, as this is one of the key, critical success factors. However, there are some cash leakages in shape of expensive cars and other overheads. This might change as VC will curtail unnecessary overheads. Also, also excessive salaries not linked to performance would be unacceptable, and VC would expect rewards to be linked. Nice, done, very simple. Half of it is from the case study and half of it is from common sense. Now, rituals and routines. In ritual and routines, we look at daily routine in the organization, especially office timing, long working hours, punctuality, strictness, leaves. Do you remember reading something about long working hours somewhere? It's an industry known for high turnover, long hours, loyal staff, kitchen staff. Yes, just we can copy paste that. Where was it, Elvin? It was maybe in the transcript. Let me search long. Yeah, you see. We know that restaurant industry is renowned for long working hours and often kitchen staff will work longer hours than they're actually paid for. That's it. Enough for me. I will just copy it. I will say that I will just edit it a bit. We know that restaurant industry is renowned for long working hours and often kitchen staff will work longer on than actually paid for. This is unlikely to change once the VC comes in, as this is a feature of the entire restaurant industry. Enough. Bold and underline. What else? Last, okay, I'll do just symbols. Symbols is show off, status symbol, show offs like titles, expensive cars, lavish benefits, huge offices, club memberships. So right now we know the symbols, right? What's happening? We know something about the lavish car, this one. CEO's expensive company car will enough. Stories, honestly, uh, I don't know how to explain stories. It's pretty, stupid, confusing. So in an exam situation, just don't worry about stories. Already we have so many points. We have covered so many points. We were supposed to write 8 points, 8 paragraphs, and we have many much more that. Although small paragraph, but in questions of culture, do not try to write long stories because culture is a topic which is very fluid, it's very subjective. So just stick to the points and try to get out of the question without spending extra time on such questions. Yes, Muzammil, I think you're right about stories. Stories generally talks about their past performance, past trends. So yes, they have worked hard. They have gained the goodwill, reputation, and I don't think that will change. But anyways, it's difficult to. So, are we very clear on power structure? Sorry, cultural question. Would you be able to draft proper answer tomorrow? Question number 3A, 3B, and 3C. Some linking and some own implications. That's the whole approach. You did half today, Muzammil. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I think you need to redo the question in your own time because it will be difficult to do it with me. You will just get some idea or partially you will do right now, but tomorrow morning you should sit 1 hour and try to do it. on your own so that you develop your speed and your confidence. Very good. Some of you are up to date. Very good. Okay, guys. So do you want me to share this or I share it tomorrow with the entire question? So only one question is left, right? So we'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow I will share the entire suggested answers so that you can, refer to it, benchmark it with your own answers. Okay, so now let's sign off. I think the time is up. 20 minutes is left. Oh, okay, it's all right. So I think we did the target for today. I don't want to overdo. So tomorrow we will do the last question, and interestingly, it is a presentation slide. So for the first time, we will be using presentation slides. Okay. So I will see you guys tomorrow, 7:30, no, 8:30 Pakistan time. And then after that, we will, cover some important topics, revisions. All right, guys. So thank you very much, and see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 Pakistan time. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.